Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Some industry greats with us this afternoon. Richard Lupo from Appletree Honda and Acura in North Carolina. Dave Perry, who's the CEO of Blink AI. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank
It's
you,
great
Ted.
to be here, Ted. Good to see you and Richard.
As
Dave,
well, Dave.
it is. I'm really excited about hearing this story. Richard, I know you recently aligned the Appletree Group with Blink. And before I get into that, Dave, let me come back to you. For those who don't know, tell us a little bit about what problem Blink AI solves for dealerships like Richard's.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Ted. And what Blink AI is all about is, we consider ourselves to kind of be the last mile of customer engagement for fixed ops. So there's lots of journeys that a customer, working with a dealership take. And many of those need to culminate in, something actionable like an appointment to bring their car back in for service or a number of other things. And that might be on the voice or the telephones. It could be the web scheduler. It could be even the telematics alerts that are coming from the vehicles. In all cases, we try to capture, these engagement sessions with the customer and lead them down a path that is very pleasing for them. It's quick. It's very actionable. It's clear as to what they have to do, and it solves their problem for them without a lot of human interaction on the part of the dealership itself. And so that's
And
really what we try to accomplish.
and you're squarely in that fixed operations realm with the probably the most, if not the latest and most modern software. Dave, a lot of service drives dealers tell us that they're already full. They've already got a backlog of customers. It takes a while to make an appointment. Um, Tell me why this is important now, and how how exactly this creates value.
Sure. Well, of course, it may be a slightly different scenario if the
Yep.
service drive is full with, full pay customers. But it's also about retention of those customers as well through the life cycle. And it's a bit of a, sad statistic that a number, anywhere from 50 to 70% of customers statistically leave, the dealership domain after their warranty period. And so we want to re-engage with those customers every opportunity we can. We want to bring them back in using, our outbound campaigns or telematics alerts to keep them connected with that dealership. So it's not just that next oil change, but it's the next service of all sorts plus the next purchase that they make. That's our goal, Ted.
Okay. And Richard, I was thinking of you at Appletree because I know you're a very busy organization. Bring us up to speed, Richard. What was happening before you implemented Blink AI?
Well, Ted, we go through a process of looking for opportunities. It's a reoccurring process we put ourselves through. And one of the things that we looked at the last time we went through this process was the amount of incoming phone calls and traffic to the dealership versus the amount of online appointments that are made. And we, like every dealership, have online scheduling. You hit our webpage and you go through the steps and make an appointment. And the results of how many web appointments the customers made was was horrible. To be honest with you, it was eye opening. And so we went to the backside of our website and really dug
Sure.
into the analytics of the clicks and the unique identifiers. And what we found was there were a lot of people trying to make appointments, and the abandonment rate was solidly 50%
Wow.
across the board. And then when you drilled into it a little deeper, the more intricate the appointment, so the higher the abandonment rate. So you had a much higher level of people that would make an oil change appointment, for example, but they had air conditioning or brake concerns or you know more specific, more in-depth concerns. The abandonment rate was 75, 80%. And we looked at that and said there's a ton of room for improvement here. And um, everything that goes downstream from there, lightening up the load of incoming calls, and then what we really look at is if we had 50 or 60 cars that showed up every day as walk-ins, the
Mm,
amount of those people that couldn't get through to our phones, weren't getting
sure,
through timely, showed up, and that's a bunch of wild cards you have to deal with every day.
sure.
So when we looked at it, we said if we can cure this and we can drive traffic and get a process that's simple for our customers to make an online appointment, it'll drive down the number of wild cards that show up in your service drive every day, and it'll significantly reduce the call volume to your BDC, giving them more time for customers that actually need that kind of attention when they have more intricate problems and questions that need to be solved. So that's kind of where we started. We went out into the marketplace and through some introductions, we came across Blink and we liked their product and we signed up with them, and the results were immediate and dramatic.
And I'm thinking of those customers trying to make an appointment, Richard. You're right. They
Mhm.
end up becoming a walk-in, and that in turn that would put a lot of pressure on your
Yeah.
advisors, on your staff, on your techs. Talk to us a little bit about that because I think that's part of what you wanted to alleviate as well.
It's a huge benefit from the tools that Blink offers in that we do 150 cars a day and 40 or 50 of them showed up without appointments. You
Wow.
got to reserve 30% of your day, 40% of your day for unknown.
Sure.
And the more quantifiable your day is when you start, and you can drive that 50 cars of showing up with no appointment down to 15 or 20, you have made a huge difference in the way you approach your day and the efficiency that you can bring when you know to a very large extent what you're dealing with before you start the day.
Dave, a lot of dealers would like the efficiency of having those walk-ins become known so they could plan their days a whole lot better. And I think that's part of the solution that Blink AI brings to the table.
Well, it does. As Richard says, when you give them a better opportunity to convert first time that they reach out to make an appointment, then it's not just, easing the pain on the dealership. Of it from the end customer's perspective. I show up, I get there really early thinking I'm going to be the first one in line, and I get there and I'm the, 21st in line. And then it's like, okay, maybe I'm better off going somewhere else. And so it really solves the problem for both sides of that equation there. And it makes everyone's, life easier, which is what we want to do.
Richard,
I
what?
have to compliment Richard too, by the way, Ted, because the way that Richard's approached this and looking at it is like, you don't automate bad processes too. So a lot of what we do is automate, things that exist already inside the dealership. And so he's, looked at it from the perspective of, look, I got to look at not just the customer facing part of it, but internally, how can we do a better job, integrating ourselves around this automation so that we can make that customer's experience a lot better. And so he's really great at reaching back out and saying, hey, what about this? How can we, add some additional functionality? Because that's the way we learn. I mean, we sit in front of computer screens all day. He sits in front of
Yes.
customers all day. And so, man, that experience is just incredibly valuable for us. So thank you, Richard.
Your team has been a pleasure to work with, and you know, uh, Ted, to just close the circle on that, we asked the Blank team to do some customization and do some things that they hadn't done before
Oh, wow.
to help close a loop in part of the process for us, and they just knocked it out of the ballpark. There wasn't any pushback. They went to work. They saw the value in what we were asking to get done, and they absolutely went to work and knocked it out of the park for us.
Right. So, Richard, you went live with Blink. Tell us what happened next, and what were the takeaways, and maybe what surprised you the most.
Probably what surprised me the most was how much was out there that we weren't realizing. The just sheer uh, there was volume in this channel that we didn't know existed.
Hmm.
When we looked back, we were getting 60, 70, 80 appointments, online appointments on a monthly basis. So 2 or 3 a day. We're making online appointments. It was not a significant part of our business.
Well,
We flipped the switch with
wow.
Blink,
Wow.
and the very first month we hit just under or just over 600 online appointments in the first 30 days. And so we had no idea that that channel was that strong, and it existed. It just was too complicated for our customer when they hit our website. So the biggest surprise was just how much of a channel was there that we just didn't know was there until we decided to do something about it. So, go ahead.
And and Dave, this is a concern for other dealers because I know I've heard the conversations on the roundtable by service managers and fixed ops directors telling us, we know that customers abandon our service scheduler far too early and far too often. So, Dave, this really is this really is an issue for dealers.
Oh, it's a huge issue for dealers, and it's not just the web scheduler. There's lots of other sort of interactions. If you go to the phone systems, often it's if they're calling expecting a live person, nowadays people are 24/7. I'm not necessarily making a note to myself to call Monday morning and book an appointment. I want to book it at that moment, and whether I call the dealership or I go to the website, or if I do the Google search and find them there, they want to book the appointment and get it over with because they've got other things in their life they're trying to deal with. And we just collectively made it a lot easier for them and increased their satisfaction with the car they purchased and the service that they get from that dealership. Yeah, it's very
100%.
exciting to hear that.
Yeah, no, and we were so pleased with the results with Blink. Initially, we just put them on the Honda deal. We have a Honda and an Acura franchise, and initially we only did the web scheduler at the Honda dealership, and the results were so dramatic that we then went and added it to our Acura web scheduler, and now we've signed up with Blink to handle automating the telematics for our customers. And I just got off a call with the support team at Blink, and the first month's results, not even quite the first month's results, but the first results coming in are amazing with what we've been able to do with outgoing text messages to text messages and communications to people for telematics.
Wow. So, Richard, would you describe this as a culture shift in the service lane, not just for your people, but for the guests as well?
It's absolutely a culture shift for our customers. So for the last few years, we've been driving forward with the intent to bring a much more modern interaction with our customers. Whether it's the kiosks or our hours of operation, the tools we use to write the cars up, and communications and online payments, and just all those things, bringing just a 360-degree, much more modern uh, experience for our customers. And this plays right into that with the appointment reminders and the automation of just the whole thing. It's a much, much improved experience for our customers. Um, and I would say that it's almost not a culture change for our staff internally. It's actually finding big gaps in our process
Wow.
and automating them. So it's actually no additional work to our staff.
Dave, there's a lot of great takeaways here.
We're going to get Richard to write the book next time for us. No, it's a great perspective, and it really feels good for us. I mean, our whole team is very proud of what we do, and to hear customers like Richard, give us that sort of feedback is just invaluable, Ted.
So, Dave, here we are, squarely in the fourth quarter, midway through the month of November. Dealers right now are making plans, not just for the fourth quarter. They're planning now for next year, for 2026. They're,
Absolutely.
they're looking ahead. They're making those plans now, as I'm sure Richard is as well. Dave, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for dealerships coming up in the next, let's say, 12 to 24 months?
Sure. I think it's all about AI. I mean, I think technologies can go through hype cycles. It's very famous, in the tech industry to go through these things. But AI just generally is a big game changer. But it's about how it gets deployed, where it gets deployed, how interactive it is with the customer, how integrated it is. I mean, you could go find one-offs, and the auto business is somewhat famous for this. Just single point solutions to do lots of different things without a lot of sideways integration between them. And I think that the thing you're going to see, particularly from Blink, is an integration, deploying AI across all customer engagement modes, but integrated with one another so that, when you call the dealership or you go to the dealer's website, we're already aware. You may be booking an oil change, but we can make you aware that your car is given an alert that needs further attention, more diagnostic work. And so we let that customer know at that point in time so they don't arrive there looking for an oil change in the quick lane and then find out, oh no, we've also now got to do a diagnostic, and that's going to be more time, or it's another visit. It's about making that customer experience just so single threaded and pleasant for them that they are like, oh my gosh, I just love this car and I love this service. That's what we're about. And I think you're going to see more and more and more of that. We got a really exciting year planned out. We've got a whole new technology, roadmap coming up. We're going to be making some, new announcements at NADA that, hopefully will surprise people. Richard, will be brought into the loop beforehand, of course, so we can get his feedback. But we got a lot of exciting things coming up from the company.
Richard, you're working with a very exciting partner right now in Blink AI.
We really are. And to follow up with what Dave was talking about and what you asked over the next 12, 24 months, of course, we got to get through Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and get to the end of the year. And we have the integration that Dave is talking about and getting a handle on that, and then actually really drilling down another level and getting not just, hey, you've got an appointment set and here's a reminder, but also what piggybacks from that. There's a lot of opportunity there that I see, and there's a huge advantage that we have right now with our technology. We saw it in the travel and entertainment business with lead generation going out to the Expedias of the world. We saw it on the front end of our business, with the lead generation coming out of cars.com and all of the third party websites. And I think that we're going to be able to miss that. And we're going to be able to keep that in house and resist the temptation for third party generation because we're at a different point with technology. Partnering with a company like Blink that is on the front end of that is going to be one of the factors that keeps us relevant and prosperous going into the future.
Richard, how would you summarize the ROI if you had to do that in, let's say, one sentence?
I can do it in one word: excellent.
Okay. All right. Very good. There you have it.
I've sat with you, Ted, for a long time, and I would not say these things if I didn't absolutely 100% believe in them. It's been a great partnership so far with Blink.
All right. Well, congratulations to both of you, Richard Lupo at Appletree Honda and Acura. Dave Perry, he doesn't leave us much to say other than if his peers want to get involved with Blink AI and learn more as part of their plan for the upcoming months and the upcoming year. Dave, what's the best way for the audience to learn more and maybe have their questions answered as well?
Sure. Well, appreciate that. And again, Richard, I just want to return those same accolades to you as well. I mean, partnerships are always two-way, and so you can't have a partnership with just one end of it. But yeah, just reach out to us on www.blinkai.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, connect with us on LinkedIn, DM us. We're very accessible. Give Ted a call. He's got my phone number directly. And we're very open. We're very engaged with the community, and just reach out and say hi to us. and we'll show you a demo. We'll come visit you, and we'll get you set up, and hopefully get the same results, or maybe not quite as good, but we'll get you as good a results as we can. And Richard's set a high bar here, so congrats to him.
Yeah, you both do. So congratulations to both. Richard Lupo, Appletree Honda and Acura. Dave Perry, the CEO of Blink AI. You can learn more on the web at blinkai.com. Dave's email, his personal email, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. On behalf of the Roundtable, Richard and Dave, want to wish you and your families and the families at your respective organizations a very happy Thanksgiving next week.
Thank you,
Thank
Ted.
you so much.
Same
Yeah.
to you. All right.
Everybody, Blink AI here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.